already clocked by now the big blonde hair in front of you, and I bet you're all thinking, good Lord, she looks like she's got a massive brain in there. And you'd be right, I do. Yeah. I've been making some really great decisions recently. One of them was actually to start working on myself. Yeah. I have just lost 30 kilos! So impressive. Yeah, it's all thanks to my $700 a month skinny pen. Super expensive subscription. Highly recommend it though. Yeah. Clothes shopping has completely changed me though. I can now go IRL. That's in real life, just in case you didn't know. Yeah, just like how the skinnies do it. Yeah. I can now go into any shop and everything fits me. I know. I did actually, though, just the other day have a very humbling experience with a crop top. Yikes. Put it back. Put it back, yeah. Sorry, but I've worked too damn hard to emotionally process this part of my stomach. We're not now just going to release it back into the wild with a crop top. No! Put it back. Yeah. So I mentioned I work in tech. I am a real woman in tech. Yes, we exist. I know, we are a little bit hard to come by. You just need to know where to look. When I'm not out celebrating International Women's Day for the 14th time this year, you can find me sitting in a room full of men trying to convince myself I belong there. Just one HDMI cable and a dream. Yeah. But you don't have to look that hard. Yeah, no, you don't have to look that hard at all. The one place that you can find us all the women in tech, all at once, you can find us all somewhere on the spectrum. Think of that woman in tech that you know. There ain't that many. Yeah, touch of the tisms, right? Yeah. Working in tech, people think that you know absolutely everything, and one of my favourite questions that I get asked, and I get asked it often, is, where actually is the cloud? And that one gives me extreme joy and pleasure in answering, because I get to let them in on a little industry secret, and that is that nobody actually knows. We are all just winging it. Nobody knows where the cloud is. Nobody knows what the cloud is. We've all just got one. Yeah. Doesn't actually matter what you say anyway though, because as soon as you start giving anyone any kind of intelligent-ish sounding answer, you can just see their eyes glaze over. Like they weren't actually interested in where the cloud is. Well, sucked in, doofus! It was your idea to ask the neurospicy woman in tech a question. You're here now for the next 45 minutes. Yeah, neurospicies. I love tech. I'm addicted to Diet Coke. Yes, there I said it. I'm addicted to Diet Coke. I drink so much Diet Coke that when I recently had my bloods done, the results came back and said that I'm now 96% phenylalanine, which I was quite concerned about. Yeah, turns out I'm actually okay. Doctor says I'm fine. It's just that my blood type has just now changed to 0 sugar. Yeah, if I fell and grazed my knee, it'd just start fizzing. Yeah, we've all got our things. You might like your Coke from a bag. I know you do. Mine comes in a silver can. And to be honest, I actually don't really need bag Coke, no, because I don't know, nobody really knows me in here, but I don't know if you know this, but if you, that is a good thing. I actually don't really need bag Coke, because when you're on the spectrum, you can actually get your meth subsidised by the PBS. It's okay, I'll share. Yeah, we've all got our things, quick show of hands, anyone here ever kissed a cousin? Oh! One, okay. I mean, I can't see past the light, but one is fine. Statistically, the rest of you might be lying. It's not that weird. It's okay. I'm not judging. It's okay. It's actually kind of hot. It's not weird, and it's actually not illegal here in Australia to kiss a cousin. So, in case you were wondering, you can! Yeah, it's not illegal in Australia. I'll tell you how I know that. It's because I married mine. Yeah, Yeah, now I've got a husband. Yeah, I've got a husband now. It's not that weird. People have been doing it for centuries. It's actually quite a regal thing to do, marry a cousin. They do it in the British royal family. They love a little bit of incest. Yeah, they do. It's actually not as weird as some family trees, though. For example, the ancient Egyptians. Anyone here ever heard of the ancient Egyptians? I can see some nods. Good one, Cousin Kissler. We got one. Yeah, it's not that weird. Their family trees are fucked in ancient Egypt. They're a little bit like brothers, sisters, mums, daddies. It's a little bit like Paddy's Markets, just for lovers. We're just cousins, so it's actually fine. Yeah, love is love. Right? Just in case anyone was wondering what the I in LGBTQIA stands for. You guessed it, it's incest! Hey, look, once we did find out that we were cousins, though, we did not let that stop us. I'm not a quitter, I'm a woman in tech. Yeah, we've all got our things. We've all got our things. Look, at the end of the day, I will not judge you for your little things, right? Whether you're a recovering fat person like myself, or whether you like to do a little bit of coke like myself, or whether you like to hook up with your family members on the weekend, that's okay. You will not hear judgment from me. I do not have the moral high ground to judge you. At the end of the day, I'm just a woman in tech with a coke addiction and a husband. Thank you. Enjoy your night.
Hello, everyone. How are we going? How wasted is everyone already? That's what I thought. I will start by saying my pronouns because my period is due this week. They will be fuck off. That is all. I am part of the queer community, also have ADHD. Give us a yell, whoever else is part of this community. I have my nose pierced, not because it is part of the lesbian uniform, but because I wanted to empathise with cows. But if I get one more, I'm legally livestock, so it's kind of shit. I came out of the closet when I was 16 because my mum pushed me out. She found a love letter to my best friend. But I know it's pretty cute. But I'm kind of grateful because at least she didn't find me scissoring her. Would have been worse. My auntie's name is Gay, but she's straight as fuck. So I don't think that's very fair to you. Like, not fair at all. So she needs to come out of the closet every time she meets somebody new. Not a vibe. My mum, she is obsessed with me having a baby. Anyone else's mum's obsessed with them having a baby? Yes. She thinks it is the solution to literally everything. She goes, global pandemic, have a baby, housing crisis, have a baby. Last Christmas, she got me a turkey baster. And with a woman, it's not that easy. So I really hope this year she gives us some sperm. That'd be great. I have ADHD, as I said, and for all you frauds out there, that stands for ain't diagnosed, have decided. You don't have it. I start my morning with coffee and speed. It's same deal, just better branding. I also have a weed subscription, which is kind of fun. They give me so much weed, I can't get through it. They give me enough weed to tranquilise a horse, quite frankly. The last time I picked it up from the post office, I could smell it from outside. True story. I then went in, the post office lady, she rolled out the barrel to me and she goes, "What are your prices?" And I was just like, now I'm selling weed gummies as a side hustle. So good. I used to be terrified of death until I realised that life was pretty much just going to the pharmacy to pick up scripts, replying to emails, and then this one's for the ladies, wondering where the fuck those chin hairs came from. Am I right? Where the fuck did they come from? Last one I pulled out had a Medicare card attached to it. Voluntary assisted dying is wild to me because I can't even decide what to watch on Netflix, let alone when I should die. I would also forget that it is my death day, so I'd be too busy and then I'd be like, fuck, I've got to have my last supper. Julia, the chick that's going to kill me, she's like, I'm on my way, probably send a devil emoji with it, because you got to be fucked up to do that job. And then I would open the fridge and I would be like, fuck, I've got leftovers. I can't die today, I've got to finish these leftovers and meal prep. My dad taught me to never waste food. Then when I get to heaven, yeah, I'm going to heaven, God would be like, what the fuck are you doing here? A bit traumatic. It's like, you had a rough week. I'm like, yeah, I did. And then he's just like, your new pronouns are going to be calm down. And then my mum would pop around the corner and she'd be like, see, you should have had a baby. Is anyone spiritual here?
Yes.
Yeah, the spiritual people. My nan, a very spiritual lady, she used to be a tarot card reader. She, every time we went up to her place, basically, she had more spirits in her house than Dan Murphy's on spirit. And she would just be like, you know, you guys can stay in the front room, but beware because there's a bunch of ghosts in there. And I was like, I think one will be enough. Why is there a bunch of ghosts in there? I was like, is Nan hosting a paranormal Airbnb? What's going on? Then she got diagnosed with dementia and she started blaming the ghosts for some crazy shit. She said that they're stealing her glasses, they're hiding her pots and pans, and I just said, look, Nan, I think the ghosts have dementia. Like, that's the only solution here. Anyway, time went on, she went to a nursing home, and then we found 6 axes under her bed. True story. So it turns out the ghosts were pretty innocent and they were just trying to testify. I aspire to have as much confidence as the people that click on the Facebook profile picture and click the camera. They just take a photo straight off and just send it. They don't even select through the fucking camera roll, they just send it straight away. I also aspire to have as much confidence as people that reverse park with people in the car and with other people watching on the street. That's next level. That's just showing up there. But nothing kills confidence more than when you go into a change room with 10 items and you come out and you hand all 10 back. And they have the audacity to say, how'd you go? How are you, Sarah? That is all from me.
Remember, no refunds, people. So my name is Mark. I moved to Australia about 15 years ago from England. You can probably guess why I left. It's cold, it's wet. Sadly, a lot of British people still. People make fun of me all the time for saying bottle of water. I think it's a bit weird making fun of someone for not pronouncing their words properly. British people, they tend to struggle with the T's a lot. Still, much better they make fun of me for that than being a boring twat. I'm one of 4 brothers, so I was the second born, which meant that I got to be the second of 4 disappointments for my parents, which is nice. Being the second born child, we're a lot more on the wild side than our siblings. So,
I agree.
Well, when I'm feeling very frisky, I like to put a little slice of lemon in my tea. Only joking. I always have MDMA with my tea. That's right. I do love a cup of tea, though. I do love a cup of tea. I love a cup of tea more than people from Sydney love complaining about rental increases and the cost of cocaine. You lot fucking love cocaine, don't you? Yeah, you do.
Yes!
I had a really constructive conversation with my boss recently. He asked me to be a lot more positive in the office. So I said, sure, yeah, no problem. It would be amazingly, outstandingly, fantastically great if you could just be slightly less annoying. I did call him a cunt too. I don't work there anymore. I started a new business. So far, I'm up to 3 subscribers on my OnlyFans. For the life of me, I cannot figure out why I'm not making more money. I've sent it out to all my family and friends. Mum and Dad have been very supportive. My old boss is a bit weird though. I'd love to start a business with my girlfriend. Because then it would give us something else to talk about other than Love Island or how I'm failing as a partner. She's been asking me for the last 6 months actually to hang our TV on the wall. So the other day I finally did it. I found a nice YouTube tutorial. The guy made it look super easy. And I had a drill bit and a dream. Let me tell you, when I finished, I'd never felt more accomplished in my life. I literally read that stud finder like a psychic reading a palm. I just wish I'd filmed it for my OnlyFans. There's a lot of jobs that I've got to do around the house at the moment, but I just find it so easy to not do them. It's honestly, it's a gift. It's a gift. I did do some painting recently though, so it didn't go to plan. I kind of did half a job. So I painted one wall, and now it looks like the room is sort of going through something emotionally. You know what I mean? It's a bit weird. We did get a handyman in the other day though. He did a quote for us, but we knew we were in trouble when he did that sort of weird teeth drying sound that tradies make when they're giving you a quote. You know, the... We didn't go for it. Anyway, spent the money on Coke instead. Much better. Much better. Much better. Online meetings, they're still a bit of a strange place, aren't they? For the majority of mine, I'm still wearing my pyjamas, contributing absolutely nothing to the conversation, and trying not to look like I'm watching porn. I do make sure to say, hi, thanks everyone for coming, and also do that kind of weird, unnatural wave that people do. This is my clean hand. It's my clean hand. I'm a big fan of sending short, to the point emails and striving for inbox zero. Nothing gets on my tits more than when someone sends an email with a bunch of questions at 4:58 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. You're then in that very tricky situation. Do you put some time and effort into a nice thoughtful response, or do you just quit your job immediately? Let's say you do put a bit of thought into it and you send a reply. What's even worse is when they reply very promptly with a bunch more questions, and it's now 4:59 p.m. There's a special place in hell for these people. Maybe that's a bit harsh. Fuck 'em. I'd love to be better at gardening. So far I've managed to kill every single plant I have ever owned, apart from the ever-resilient peace lily. So, yeah, I get mine from IKEA. You can neglect the shit out of these things. They fucking love it. They are literally the masochists of the plant world. Try to do too much for them, though. They don't seem to like it. But, you know, put them in a dark room, not give them any water, chain them up in the basement. They fucking love it. Actually, now I think about it, it sounds a lot like my relationship with my ex-girlfriend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name's Ben. Let's address the plain obvious. As you can see, I am bald. But yeah, you can see that. Great, big shiny. You've probably got some reflections in the front row. I would say there's some great ambassadors for that kind of bald-headed look. There's people like Samuel L. Jackson. There's Bruce Willis. There's Britney Spears, you know, some awesome ambassadors, okay? Yeah. Now, the interesting thing is, this is a genetic thing I've had going on with my head, but people are kind of going hairless all over now. It's kind of a cool thing to do now, you know, being hairless. As a species, we've never been so hairless, okay? Yeah? But let me tell you this now, it wasn't always like this. You know, when I was a small child, somewhere around there in the 1970s, hair was big. Big fucking hair, right, yeah? There was kind of big hairy heads, there was big hairy chests, there was hairy armpits, there was just hair going on everywhere. My dad had big hair, albeit just here, he kind of just like wrapped it all the way over. Okay, yeah? My mum had big hair all the way up here, she could hide the contents of her handbag up there. Okay, but also, I know that my mum had big hair everywhere. I checked my birth certificate. My birth certificate said, Ben, born 3 p.m. first sighted 5 p.m. It started off a standard birthing procedure, ended up to be a search and rescue. But let me tell you this, as you can also probably tell, is that I came from the UK a long time ago. When I first arrived here, I had to get used to the nuances of the Australian language. You know, the shortening of the words and the adding the O. I had a notebook, okay? I had to collect this information, you know? So as I went along, I saw that, you know, service station was servo, so I wrote that down in my notebook. And I could see that afternoon was arvo, so I wrote that down in my notebook. And the flat bit on top of a cliff, that's plateau, wrote that down in my notebook too as well. So yeah, I was getting this, so I had to keep all of these in check. Now, it's June, July's coming up. It's dry July soon. Do you know about dry July? Yeah. You do? Okay, dry July, yeah. Dry July is where people give up alcohol for a month and invariably replace it with something else. Okay, yeah, that's like a good challenge for them. Okay, I'll give you, and so I love the energy that they provide, but I'm kind of over it. You know, so in July this year, I am doing Why Try July. Okay, yeah? It's basically where you can put in the most feeblest amount of effort into everything that you do. Okay, yeah? So I'll give you an example. My daughter, raving alcoholic, she is, she's doing Dry July. I wish her the best of luck. And, but also, okay, yeah, she's also given up social media. So I thought to myself, oh, I must try that. Why Try July? I'll give it a go. So I thought to myself, I'll list out all the things why I should keep social media. So I got my long piece of paper out. It was cat reels. So I kept it. As simple as that, really. It wasn't that difficult. And then additional to that, okay, I had another friend, and she said, she goes, I'm going to do Dry July, and I'm going to take up climbing. I'm going to be a mountain climber. I am going to climb Mount Everest. I thought, oh, big cool. Why Try July? I'll give it a go as well. I am going to climb Mount Druitt. That's right. Okay, yeah. It's the same risk profile, just a bit closer. Okay, yeah. Woo, nobody's from Mount Druitt here, are they? Cool, cool. Sorry if you are. That's right. Okay, yeah, and also as well, finally, I had another friend, John. Great guy. Awesome. Awesome. He said he's going to give up alcohol and take up running. Is there any runners? Is anybody here in a run club? Or does anybody know anybody that's joined a run club or has been part of that cult of recent days? Because it is, right, yeah? It's a cult, isn't it, right? So it starts off like this. So I picked John in the first week and I said, John, how's the running going? Yeah, good. Did 6K this morning, caught up with friends. Quite simple. 2 weeks later, John, how's the running going? John goes, this is how John's talking to me, he goes, let me tell you about my morning. Woke up 5 a.m. Did my pre-run yoga pose, did my yoga pose, pigeon pose, cow's pose. I then did my backward hamster creamy cruiser kale shake pose. Okay, I taped my nipples, I vassoed my crack. I then had 10 raw eggs. That was followed up by 5 live rabbits. That was washed down with a double shot macchiato. I was like, cool, any running yet? I haven't finished yet, man. I then had my overnight soaked oats, which was mildly spiced with camel sperm and flaxseed. Okay, I was like, awesome, this is great. Any running yet? Hold on a minute, I've got to do my run goals yet. So I do my run goals for the day. Okay, yeah? I train hard, I play hard, I run like a leopard. Right, yeah? Okay, yeah? I was thinking, this running thing's going to be crazy. And he said to me, well, are you doing any running? What did you do this morning, Ben? And I was like, me? I woke up, Why Try July? I put my underwear on. The right way around. First fucking time. High five. Anyway, I said to John after, I said, John, I'm celebrating your running. Let's go to the cake store. He said, cool, no problem. So we go to the cake store. I go to the cake. I say to the lady at the cake store, I said, can I have 2 slices of gattux for me and my friend? She says, what? I said, 2 slices of gattux. I can see it there for me and my friend. She said, that's not gattux, that's gatto. I went, oh, there's another one for my notebook. Right, there we go. My name's Ben, thank you very much.
Hey guys, thank you so much for coming out. Really appreciate it. My name's Jack, or Jackson, or as my brother calls me sometimes, shit for brains. I have a bit of a sibling rivalry going on with my brother right now. It's a little bit one-sided though. He's a fighter pilot, and he's very handsome. I have a very, very high-level RuneScape character. So I wanted something that I was really good at, So I went to university and I became a software engineer. And I was so happy to have something that I was better at than him, especially because he really liked it. I was like, take that, you Tom Cruise looking son of a bitch. But then AI programming came out. And he made an app. It was really good. And I was trying to save face. I was like, oh, it's not really the same, but it is. I thought working in software engineering would be really interesting, but mostly it's just working for companies, you know, when they want to promote like a new AI-powered dildo or something. And sometimes I'll have meetings with my clients, and when I've got a meeting coming up, I'll really put an effort in. I'll like put on a nice shirt, I'll do up my hair, and they love it. They look at me and they're like, wow, how did that lesbian get into the Mormon church? I got the hair product from my barber. His name's Jamal. I asked him for a recommendation, and he was like, yeah, bro, wear this. This is what all the Lebanese guys wear. I was like, thanks, man. Now I drive a BMW. I thought very strongly about being gay. But I thought I must be straight. The only men I'm attracted to are the ones dressed up as women. Growing up with a single mum, was pretty tough. I remember going to school one day and looking at the dietary pyramid and being like, oh, that's weird. I don't see dog biscuits on there. I've been sick a lot recently, not because I'm eating dog biscuits. It's because it's cold, and I do comedy, I do theatre, and my voice is getting a bit hoarse. And I was talking to my friend, and she's like, "Wow, it sounds like your throat gets a lot of action." I found one way that you can get a stronger immune system is to get a pet. Because a pet will run around outside and a bunch of shit, and they'll traipse it through your house, and getting exposed to that will improve your immune system. I was like sick. So I went to the city and I caught a pigeon. And the best thing about having him as a pet is that once I'm done with him and my immune system is fortified, I can just eat him. I used to have a smoking habit, but I really wanted to quit. So I had one last cigarette, and I gave the packet to a homeless dude. But cigarettes are really addictive. So 15 minutes later, I went back to steal them again. And that was a really low point for me. I felt a lot of shame because he was in a wheelchair. And I was like, I should have been able to overpower him way faster than I did. I went to the UK recently for the first time ever. When I told my family I was going there, they were worried. They thought I was going to get robbed by immigrants. And they were right, because the first thing I did when I got there is I bought him a coffee off a Australian barista. And he charged me £5 fucking. Thank you so much, guys.
Hello. Cheer if you have been on a bad date before. If you're not cheering, you've either never been on a date or you've just suppressed the memory successfully, so well done. My name's Ria. After my last breakup, I did something that most people would call unhinged. I went on 52 first dates. I didn't get a fringe, I didn't fuck my ex, and I didn't join Married at First Sight. Yes, I went on 52 first dates, which quite frankly, after a little while feels like a part-time job, but with no pension. I became very good at awkward conversations and small talk, and can now talk to a silent room for an hour, which you never know when that might come in useful. I also can put it on my LinkedIn right now. I can say strategy communications. I can say the fact that I can identify a personality disorder within literally 90 seconds. I am pretty much a bad dates expert. So I have been on 50 plus bad dates. And to be honest, I think if anyone's dated in Sydney, 50 plus soulless, day destroying, life questioning 50 first dates will probably not be that impressive to you guys. To be honest, looking at the field that we have to play with. Also, I know what everyone's thinking here, and no, I did not sleep with all of them. Just the ugly ones. The hot ones had boundaries. After 50 odd dates, it kind of becomes more like a consumer research project. I had spreadsheets. I can identify red flags faster than a police dog. And look, the findings were pretty terrible. First up, we had Josh, 35. He believed that COVID was a conspiracy theory, and he spent 2 hours telling me that big companies invented it and are now profiting from it post-pandemic. I even stopped arguing with him after a little while. I was kind of questioning him like it was a documentary. When we have Blake, 31, a chef, he literally asked me 2 questions in 3 hours. I have had more interactions with airport security. To be honest, I don't know how it was that bad, but it was. Then we had Aiden. So he was 27. He didn't start drinking until he was 25, and then he got into a relationship with his 50-year-old co-worker. Listening to this, I didn't know whether to buy him a drink or to refer him to a therapist. The other one was Sam, 30, aspiring actor. He was strangely scared that trans men would take his jobs. And also lied about his height, which is very common, and I never understand the strategy of that, to be honest. Like, he can't catfish gravity. And last but not least, we have Patrick. So he very much admitted that he broke up with his ex by cheating on her, which is kind of like getting fired before you quit. Now, I will admit, I am sometimes a red flag. It's not all them, but I can't, let men have all the credit. And I have less examples, but there was Joe, 31. He had the same favourite band as my ex, so I bent him off because he had the same favourite band as my ex. Then we have Eric. So, great guy. But tiny mouth. It felt like kissing a tiny, tiny fish. And then lastly we have Blake. So he, again, lovely guy, could be friends with him, but he had a really high-pitched voice, so it felt like talking to a really excited cartoon character all of the time. And then, those were my kind of dating experiences. But I love bitching about dating, but I will say that number 51, we're still together. There is some light in the tunnel. Everybody can be happy. They just have to try 50 more times. Thank you.
How are we doing tonight? name's Sean. I'm just a small town girl living in a lonely world. Grew up in a little town called Bayman's Bay. Anyone heard of Bayman's Bay? Yeah, holiday house crowd here. It's got three main industries. It's got agriculture, a bit of tourism. Mainly it's violence and licensed venues. They serve you beer and pre-broken glasses. Worked in a Chinese restaurant in Bayman's Bay. Not a normal thing for a white guy to do in the city. There are only 4.5 Chinese people in Bayman's Bay, so they had to make do with me. People would walk in, look me in the eye and say, "You're not Chinese." I'd say, "Wait until you meet the chefs." Didn't realise you couldn't cycle when I moved to Sydney. Can't do it here, not if you want an intact skeleton. You get a lot of unsolicited advice when you're cycling in Sydney. You know, just friendly advice, just like, get off the fucking road. Get fucked. You look like a cunt. That last one was my mum. She doesn't think I look good in lycra. She's wrong. Moved to Sydney, went to medical school, became an obstetrician and gynecologist. Yeah, all girls. Okay. Men and women have very different reactions to that. With women, if we're in a normal setting, it would just be like, we talk about HPV a lot. HPV is like iPhones, like 70% of you have it right now. Men only want to know one question. How many have you seen? How many? It's like asking an accountant how many spreadsheets they've seen. It's like, bro, they can't imagine a world where you don't keep track. Gynecology is not a straight man's game. Not a straight man's game. That's why I like to give off an aura of questionable sexuality. If your gaydar's like freaking out right now, that's by design. You might say, Sean, that's appropriation. Wrong. I've given men a go. Back in the old days. For me, trying out men was like trying a wine you're not quite sure about. Take one sip, put it down. It's a bit too dry. Prefer my wine wet. I'm so sorry. People say men and women. All right, so I guess you're bisexual. Wrong again. I'm actually the straightest guy in this room. I tried. No. How'd you know? I've tried, men. And I walked away. My preference for women is indisputable. It's these straight guys that I don't know about. Growing old, man. Growing old. 31-year-old guy with 51-year-old problems. GP called me the other day. He's like, "Oh, your tests have come back." "Oh, really?" "Yeah, it says right here that you're a fat fuck." Test says that, huh? Yeah, it says here that you ate too much fat and now your arteries look like the drip tray of a George Foreman grill. Your blood type is grease now. I was like, "Oh, I'll do anything. How do I treat this?" "Just a bit of diet and exercise." See you next year. The number's going to be way higher, I'll tell you that. All right. Losing my hair, that's a 51-year-old problem. I've got the reverse mullet going on. It's business at the front, funeral at the back. Those TVs that come on in Kmart, shine on the back of your head, should come with a trigger warning. A lot of options out there. Yeah, the pills that make your dick not work anymore. Good idea. Can't go to Turkey anymore, thanks Donald Trump. Could become a hat guy. Try not to become a hat guy. Once the hat comes on, never comes off. It's like Darth Vader mask. Like, yeah, fused on. They wear it during work, they wear it during play, they even wear it during sex. Don't ask how I know. That's me, everyone. Thank you.
Hello! Thank you everybody for coming back after the break. Much appreciated. How good was the first half? So my name's Christy, and so many times over the years people have said that I look like Magda Zabansky. So I thought I'd embrace it. Fat, funny lesbian. I've even done some research. Drive a Subaru, played softball, even went on a date with Susan. That didn't go so well. Didn't want to cut my nails. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, just better than my relationships. So, speaking of relationships, I have some fantastic news to share. I have ended my marriage. Thank you. And I got the keys to my new apartment on my 10-year wedding anniversary. Best gift I've had in years. I was a bit thrown by your response because most of the time when I tell people that I'm going through a divorce or separated, they go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And then internally, I'm more like, "Celebrate good times, come on." Those who know me would probably say it's not so internal, but anyway. And so the thing is, though, I've lost my point. So when other people tell me that they're going through a separation or divorce, I want to say congratulations. What I've learned, it's not the best response. And you need to, it's a bit like a pregnancy announcement, you need to check the vibe first. So, is this congratulations? Or is it, oh shit, what's the plan? And so most people get divorced and they take some time to heal. Not me. I signed up for singing lessons. Thank you. And I researched a uni degree for career change. And I've been researching Spartan races, which don't know how my body feels about that since it has an emotional and physical challenge with stairs. So the closest I come to running is to my divorce lawyer. I'm currently in training by parking further away at Macca's. When I was dating, I didn't realise that I was looking for a partner. I was accidentally interviewing for dependents. Yeah. And did I find one? Believe me. So my advice to strong independent women is the same for wannabe parents. Don't do it. I know it's tough to swallow, but I really recommend it's easier than having a baby. My marriage was like a group assignment. It was one person does all the work, and then the other person puts their name on the front cover and claims half the marks. In a marriage, that's called a partnership. A university, that's called academic misconduct. So I've worked in HR for 25 years, which sounds really inspiring. Well, not really, but it's really a quarter of a century of telling adults like the consequences of their action. Things like, please don't send that email. 5 minutes later, now about that email that you sent. So parents usually get to stop parenting when their kids turn 18. I'm dealing with 50-year-olds named Darren. He wears steel cap boots and is unionised. It's funny from your perspective, isn't it? Yeah. So I conducted an investigation from a transport manager. Now he was an old school truck driver who'd been promoted to running the transport department. And I'd had a grievance about the SC list. Now this SC list was up on the wall on the whiteboard where everyone could see it. And I went in and said, what's the SC list? And he said, it's the softcock list. It's the list of softcocks that can't take a joke. True story. Yeah. And I said, looked at him and went, mate, what made you think that was a good idea? And he said, he looked at me confused and like I was the idiot. And that, well, if they weren't softcocks, they wouldn't put in a complaint. Thank you, you've been great. That's my time.
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Christy, for warming up the audience for me and for reminding my husband why he's called current husband in my book. My name is Annie Christine. Yes, that's Annie Christine. I'm from Denmark. Yes, that's Denmark. I promise I'll stop repeating myself. That's a promise. I've traveled all the way here because I find that having an accent is my only chance of ever being just a little bit exotic. But true to stereotype, as a Danish person, I'm blunt and boring. So let's talk about my name again. Annie Christine. It's difficult, I know. So you can just call me Simon. It's my official Starbucks name. It's easy. Everybody knows how to pronounce it, even my Danish-born husband. So I work as an epidemiologist. That's basically the scientific way of saying somebody who's really boring. What I do is basically I take thousands of people, turn them into numbers in a spreadsheet, and try to figure out why they all got that same disease. But honestly, modern diseases are just not that interesting, right? Some people miss the 90s, I miss the Black Plague. Now that was a pandemic. So I'm used to people tuning out, maybe falling asleep when I'm speaking. So seeing you all here awake and expecting me to be funny is the most exciting thing that's happened to me since 2020. Back in Denmark, part of my job is to monitor heart attacks, right? Deadly serious stuff. So last year, I'm going through my spreadsheet. Turns out we are missing 10,000 dead people. Gone! It could be a medical miracle. It could be a massive government cover-up. Or it could be that I'm really bad at my job. So I had two options, right? Investigate or go to the pub early. So I published the report silently under the radar and moved to Australia. For the accent, you know. Well, then some journalist stumbles upon the report thinking he'll find some high-stakes political drama, decides to ask to see all of my fucking work emails for the last 3 years. Well, literally, the most incriminating one was, I'll be running 5 minutes late. Please start without me. So, truth is, there is no conspiracy. There's no Scandinavian Lolita Express. All there is doctors who, in the heat of resuscitation, accidentally register the dead people under the section for office supplies. But I'm intrigued and flattered that somebody finally reads my emails. So I've come up with this idea to spice up my life. I've started inserting random incriminating sentences. Like, let's not discuss this in writing. The samples are safe. Disregard the coughing. Or, as per my previous email, turns out HR doesn't like extra spice, so they have launched an internal investigation. But I'm Jill Spreadsheet Simon, did nothing illegal. And if I did spread a virus in this room tonight, it would all be for data collection and statistical purposes. You know, science. So, entirely unrelated to any hypothetical virus, I'll be going back to Denmark soon. But I'm not returning empty-handed. I'm returning with the ultimate answer to any feedback in the future insinuating I might be boring. I'm going to sit them down, shut them up, look them straight in the eyes and say, that's a cute opinion. I might say this in Danish, but so that you guys get it, that's a cute opinion. But did you know I went to Sydney as a stand-up comedian? Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Keith. It's a beautiful Sydney day and you're all here in a cavern pretending to laugh at your friends. Well played. I will accept I have an accent, so I will do you a deal. I will speak as slowly as possible if you promise not to try and do my voice. So please, no freedom, no let your coat. None of that, please. I got here an hour earlier in order to be, sick in a bin. And I spoke to the barmaid upstairs and said, hi there. And she said, oh, hello. Your accent, is it Scottish? And I said, yes. And she said, that's good. I was worried you had something wrong with you. Now, I live now here in Australia, which is a beautiful, beautiful place. But I've been trying to do more Australian things in order to try and blend in. So I've been to Manly Beach and I've been surfing. I've been to Taronga Zoo and I looked at a koala. I also speak at length about house prices with every single person I meet. I met a friend of mine said, now you need to do the most Australian thing of them all. Okay, great, right, what's that? You need to go for sausage sizzle. Right, so now it was my first time having a sausage sizzle, so of course, my first time, I wanted to go somewhere special. So where did I go? I'm sorry, it's not audience participation. I worked on this. Yes, I went to a DIY store because you all know that's the best place for a sausage sizzle. Now, of course, my first time, I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect, but I was also excited. And at the end of the day, it was a disappointing sausage. I'm from Glasgow. Thank you, I'll say that again. I am from Glasgow. Marvellous. Now, we know food in Glasgow. I once had a burger with a pizza was either side as the bun. I once had a bag of Doritos where you pour in chocolate sauce and you call them sticky crisps. I recommend you do not Google that. And I can say a sausage sizzle is worse than any of those things. I took my son after a game of rugby that he lost. So apparently in Australia, you take your children to, commiserate by giving them a sausage sizzle. So I said, right, hold out your hand, young man. Holds out his hand, a very, very thin napkin, an even thinner slice of shit white bread. A sausage which has been heated to the temperature of the sun. It burns straight through the bread, straight through the napkin, and gave my son third-degree burns on his hand. He thought it was a punishment. No, Daddy, I'll play better next week. Take the sausage away. You know what? The next week, he was shit again. You know why? Because he burned his fucking hand. He's back the next week. Hold out your other hand. Right. I live in the northern beaches of Sydney. Best place. They are beautiful people who live there. I see very few of you are from the beaches of Sydney. Now, I decided I would join a gym. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Ozempic is an option, but it's miles more expensive than the gym if you don't have a sausage sizzle on the way every time. Now, I don't hate the gym. I hate pretty people who go to the gym. That's what beach volleyball is for. Go away from... I went with my daughter, and there was a beautiful man. He was a beautiful man. He looked like a triangle. You know, one of those guys that's like bubble wrap. And this prick was, having a shower. But he was not just having a shower this way, he's having a shower this way, so everyone could see water dripping down. It was magnificent. My daughter tugs me, and she said, "Daddy, that guy is the opposite of you." It's not one. So I did what I always do with beautiful people. I assume you all do this too, is you need to create a backstory for them, so you feel less, jealous and angry. So for example, Chris Hemsworth, Thor.
Yeah.
Do you know that he feeds his children dog food sandwiches? And he never changes his underpants. If you stand close to Chris Hemsworth, you always smell a little bit of cheese. It's a true story. Now, that's not to say I'm not an attractive man. I was once told that I'm an extremely attractive man, but only from the nose up. This beautiful woman went on to say that I looked like a Disney prince. Thank you, yes. If the prince's parents were cousins. Now, I would have preferred if it wasn't my wife who'd said that. And it wasn't during her wedding speech. I'm going to leave now, but what I will do is I'd like to thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for enjoying this evening, and I do hope that you all have a sausage sizzle on the way home.
Give it up for the old bloke. Hey everybody, my name's Phil. I'm 71. My pronouns are was, were, and could have been. Truth is, I identify as a 30-year-old trapped in Jimmy Barnes' body. Oh, let me tell you, Barnesy's knees are both shot. But Jimmy's a lot tougher than I am. Jimmy's had 3 heart attacks, and he's still touring with Chisel. I pulled a muscle in the shower singing Working Class Man. I had to take a week off. I wasn't even working at the time. My wife says I'm an attention seeker. Sometimes we go shopping together to David Jones. Yeah, she goes off and does her thing. I get bored very quickly, so I can sometimes just walk up to a completely random stranger shopping as though I work there, and with a straight face ask, do you need any help? Or is somebody helping you? Seriously, I could be wearing t-shirts, shorts and thongs. Can you imagine some of the looks I get? But what's even weirder is when sometimes someone says, "Oh, yeah, thanks. Can you, this is true, can you tell me if this comes in a bigger size?" And I'm like, and I scan the room and I say, "Yeah, just go and see Fred over there behind the counter. He'll sort you out." And they go, "Oh, thanks very much." And I walk off, chest puffed out. Yeah? Now, my wife calls that attention seeking. I call it unpaid middle management, no formal training, no responsibility, just like real middle management. Where's the HR people here? Now, my wife loves shopping, understandably, just not with me. A bit similar to our marriage. Married blokes are laughing at that. Yeah. I went to get my passport renewed recently. It cost me $450 to renew it for 10 years. Yeah, some of you are thinking, geez, he's a bit optimistic. The guy in the post office takes my photo, hands it to me and says, "Sign this," which I do, and I look at it and I'm like, shit, that is the worst photo of me I've ever seen. This looks like Jimmy Barnes' old man after a big night. This is a shocker. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to live with this crap photo in my passport for the next 10 years. And then I think, if I make it, and if I don't, I wonder if I get a pro rata refund. do you reckon? I had an interesting start to my working career. I got a job in Woolies stacking shelves. Lasted one night. Got the same job 2 weeks later in Coles. Lasted 5 nights. 400% improvement. Yeah? Come on, give it up. 400% improvement, yeah? I was stoked. I went home and I ate the whole packet of jelly beans that I took as redundancy payment on my way out. Got a job in the morgue as a cleaner for a bit. Now I have to read this because I only wrote this last night and I cannot remember it. Let me see if I can read it. I was nice for a change, not to be the least motivated person in the building. Thank you, give it up. Yeah. Woo! Woo! Now, thank you, you're too kind. Now with all that experience, I thought it's time to go international. I went overseas, I went to the UK, got a job in London as a night porter in a hotel, lasted 4 nights, yeah. The guy who was training me was studying to be a doctor and he was supposed to show me what to do. I ended up falling asleep on the couch while he did all the work. But we both got something out of the experience. He passed his exams. I learned how to delegate while doing fuck all. Yeah, then I ended up living in a house full of Scientologists. We got on pretty well for a while. Then they started telling me that I was fucked in the head, and if I wanted to be like Tom Cruise, I had to go clear. I asked them how much it cost, and they told me, and I thought, shit, for that sort of money, I'd rather stay fucked in the head and live in a much nicer suburb. So I moved out. But that set me on a path to find cheaper answers to the big questions of life. And that's when I found Buddhism. I love Buddha. Buddha gets straight to the point. Buddha says, we're all fucked in the head. But he doesn't ask to see your credit cards. Unlike the Scientologist, yeah? Buddha says, the reason we're all fucked in the head is because of desire. Meaning, most of the time, you want life to be different to the way that it is. Like right now, I'm guessing some of you wish I probably wasn't here. Yeah, fair enough. Buddha says, get rid of desire and you are home free. Easy for him to say. Sounds good. Easy for him to say. Put up your hand if you ever tried giving up chocolate. Put up your hand if you ever tried giving up wanking. Keep your hand up if you've ever tried giving up chocolate and wanking on the same day. Oh, it's just you and me, mate. We should start a support group. Anyway, my wife's not into, my wife's not into Buddhism. As I said, she's into shopping. But I told her, Buddha never once mentions wearing activewear or Lululemon as a pathway to enlightenment. Not once. I know for sure because I Googled it. Now Facebook thinks I'm a middle-aged woman who's got an addiction to fucking yoga. Anyway, in light of my Buddhist practice, I have a policy of not killing anything. Yeah? Recently, my wife calls me to the kitchen. She says, there's a moth, get rid of it. She's South African. There's a moth, get rid of it, kill it. I walked in, I'm like seeing this poor moth bashing against the kitchen light. I said, look, this moth is just mistaking the kitchen light for the sun. This is a navigation problem, not a capital offence. Right? But anyway, I spent 10 minutes tracking and catching this moth. No joke, 10 minutes. And I've got it in my hands, and I can feel its little wings beating in my hands, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm saving a life here, a sentient being. I'm really doing my work here on this planet. I get outside, our backyard is ringed by trees. I get outside and I take a few deep breaths and I'm really experiencing this moment. And I gently open my hands and the moth stays there for about a second and then it just flies away and I'm like, wow, this is spiritual. And a fucking bird in one of the trees had seen the whole thing, swoops down and eats it mid-flight. I'm not fucking joking. I walked inside and told my wife. She said, what did you expect? Good question. I'm Phil, thank you, you've been a great audience.
How's everybody doing today? Yeah! Good. Yeah, I used to feel that way. Until I had a conversation where I was told that I looked like a joyless Uber driver who should have been in tech. I said, "Excuse me, Mom. That's a bit rude, and I need some space." So I decided to move to Australia. Things are different down here. The sun is so strong. I was white when I landed. And everything can kill you here. Like, the first time I saw a huntsman spider, you know, like what a huntsman spider, big brown thing? The thing jumped at me. I was like, fuck, slapped it away. I said, not today. The second time I saw a huntsman spider, my wife gently picked it up, gave it a kiss, and placed it outside. I was humiliated. We got a divorce. And I started watching Bondi Rescue. Man, those guys they're hot. I don't know, like tall, running into the water, kind of yelling, oi, oi, it does it for me. I'm not gay, but in Australia? So I moved to Bondi, became a lifesaver, got the kit. It's red and yellow. I look like a flag. And when you have to save someone, there's a whole situation. I once saw a guy drowning in the water, so I have to signal to my team. Then they signal back to me. And then I have to get my kit, and I'm like, okay, sir, I'm coming. What? I can't understand you. He's going blah, 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 blah. I have no idea what he's saying. So I'm getting my stuff, and then I'm going to run towards the guy. And I'm sure at this point he's thinking, I'm better off dead. And I wish he would say that, because I don't want to fight the waves, the sharks, the kangaroos to get to him. Legally, if he says, don't save me, I have to watch him drown. Consent is consent. No, I am kidding though. I do love being a lifesaver. It's great to be part of the community, have chats with the locals. And when people come to me and ask for sunscreen, I get to say, no. You came to the beach in Australia without sunscreen, you were gonna burn. And that's okay, because you'll look like me. But blue bottle season is a crazy season at the beach. Picture this: clear blue skies, white sands, everyone's screaming and crying. People are getting stung. Some guy runs up to me, should I pee on my friend? I say, yes. Does it do anything for them? No. Does it do something for me? Yes. But since the divorce, I've been talking to AI a lot. It really knows me. It told me my mother was wrong about me. It said I did nothing wrong. I didn't have to save that person. Consent is consent. And it said that that person who peed on their mate, I helped them achieve a lifetime dream. I am a lifesaver. And it even said that my ex and Javier are not happy no matter what Instagram says. Thank you very much. My name is Adam.
Hello, great to be here. It's actually a big day for me. I'm really outside of my comfort zone. I know, I'm wearing pants. Because I work from home. Actually, my attire's gone from gym pants to shorts to just underwear. Which is great because now you're all picturing me in my underwear. And it worked. I'm very relaxed right now. Should we get started? Hi, I'm Andrew, and I'm an accountant. That's all right. That's the usual response I get. I know you're all secretly cheering on the inside. We're your favourite fucking profession. After the budget, I'm sure you got your accountant on speed dial. The budget should have been great for accountants, shit for everybody else. But you can tell a lot about a profession based on the colour of pen that they choose to use. Take teachers, they like red pens. Profession that doesn't like, profession that isn't into pay for full performance, but spends 12 years judging your child with a red pen, aggressively. Nothing screams encouragement like a big D in red. But accountants, because we're fun guys, we like green pens. It's creative. We like to colour outside the lines. We recently just worked at our ethics test, which surprisingly we have to do annually, which should be a red flag. But it was an online test, and a group of us got on chat and shared the answers. Nothing spells ethical profession like collaborating on the ethics test. It was great, we all got 100. Morally, we failed. But Hollywood's been pretty tough on accountants. We only got one movie called The Accountant. Which is, yeah, I know, it's a great movie. We got, this is Ben Affleck playing an autistic accounting assassin. Yeah, middle-aged white guy in glasses, tick, autistic. My therapist has got some ideas about that. Secretly a train killer. It's a New Year's resolution. If you haven't seen it, it's 50% spreadsheets and 50% headshots. Hollywood took one look at accounting and thought, this is a profession that needs more sniper rifles. But my partner's actually a doctor, which is great, because it's essentially private health insurance with boobs. I've been trying to upgrade my policy though, increase those sexy time extras. I'm clearly a good lover because this is, you know... I'm kidding. When we first got together, I thought it'd be like a medical drama. You know, someone collapses in the street and then boom, she's doing surgery with a pocket knife and my green pen. But it actually happened the other day. We were at a theatre, big bloke collapses, and there's panic. Is there a doctor in the house? I lean over to her and hand her my green pen, because this now qualifies as medical equipment, and say, this is your moment. She just looked at me and said, it's not my patient. It's just his time. Just his fucking time. Anyway, turns out the Hippocratic Oath has business hours. And the only thing she'll sign with my green pen after hours is the death certificate. But living with a doctor is great. Actually, I should say surgeon, because there's a key difference. Because a surgeon for a job saves lives by removing and disposing of body parts. Yeah. Once you understand that, you know, household chores become terrifying. She's got the skills and the equipment to dexterose. Can you take out the garbage? Absolutely, honey. Just don't let me be part of the waste collection. You see a garbage bag? I see disposal of evidence. She's actually here tonight. Give her a round of applause. Mainly because if I don't make it home tonight and they find my body in a garbage bag with a green pen in my neck, don't believe her when she says it was just my time. Thank you, everyone.